For allowing me to add my voice to this very important report on against corruption. Madam Speaker, we know very well that in the entire world, corruption has affected the growth of every country, and especially our own country here. Madam Speaker, if it were not for corruption, Kenya would have been very far in terms of development and growth. But because of the corruption that has been practiced by different leaders who have been there at different levels, we are where we are today. Madam Speaker, anything or any report, any action against corruption needs our total attention. And that is why I support this report, because I'm one person who really advocates for a country without corruption, because that is where our delivery is, that is where our success is. And if we want to rescue this country from the challenges that we have been in for the last many years, it is only by overcoming this big animal called corruption. Madam Speaker, corruption has been so much institutionalized in our country today. In any place you go to, corruption is practiced. If you want to take your child to a school, to a good high school, you are forced to give money so that you can buy the space. If there are employment, you are forced to dish out money so that you can be lucky to be employed somewhere. And this is what Kenya Kwanza government is against today, because that practice has been there. And I want to congratulate our president, who is our leader today, and who has confirmed and openly declared a war against corruption in our country. And we thank him because he has taken serious steps and measures so that corruption in our country can be controlled. Madam Speaker, I support the report, and it is my prayer that all corrupt leaders at one stage will be in for it and will pay back what they have stolen from the nation. Madam Speaker, it is unfortunate because even some religious institutions, some places that we go to, everywhere we visit, people keep saying that corruption is eating our country and has damaged the growth of this country. Madam Speaker, if as a National Assembly today, we all act against it and we make sure that all corrupt people, from the people who are in security team, let's say even the watchmen at the gate, the people, the lift operators, others who are concerned with files at the lands office and all these other places, if today members of parliament will stand up and say that we are all against corruption and we are fighting it fully, I am sure the president will win this war against corruption. And that is why, as one of the leaders today, I want to identify myself with this report and say that I will give my total support for Kenya to grow, for Kenya to prosper, for our people to enjoy the dignity that God has given us, and for any person born and brought up in this country to have equal opportunity without corrupting his or her way for any opportunity that is there before us. And with those few remarks, Madam Speaker, I support this report, and it is my prayer that soon and very soon, Kenya will be out. Kenya will be free of corruption. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, corruption in every single government starts immediately the government is inaugurated. It starts by calling members who have been elected to parliamentary group meetings. And then they are told you are in government, the other people are in opposition, so you must defend the government. But Madam Speaker, the work of our parliament, we have both of us from minority and the majority. We have to do three works only: legislate, represent, and oversight. So other people should not feel they are in a government, they cannot criticize the government. They are supposed to criticize the government. So it starts by blackmailing people. Madam Speaker, the leadership, when it wants to be corrupt, it starts blackmailing the church leaders. Church leaders cannot condemn anybody because the decision to condemn is by God. And I wonder when a leader, a government leader who is in charge, would go and appoint a church leader, a bishop, to preside over anti-corruption institution. This is where corruption starts from. Madam Speaker, today, they told us Kimwarere and Arol, when they lost money, it was only 7 billion. They are in leadership today. They have not brought back that 7 billion. Madam Speaker, as I continue, they complained here of KEMSA. KEMSA, the newspaper was awash that somebody's son was there.
Honorable Kwenya, what is out of order?
Madam Speaker, the Honorable Wanjala is completely out of order in the sense that whatever he's talking about is a motion that was passed by this House. Either he's trying to insinuate that this House acted in vain, and of course we know Parliament does not act in vain. And therefore I plead with you, Madam Speaker, that you declare the Honorable Wanjala completely out of order.
Honorable Wanjala, I know your time is over, but from what Honorable Kwenya is saying, I don't think you're really out of order by, you're not out of... Continue. Wind up. Wind up.
Give Caesar what belongs to Caesar. Give Caesar what belongs to Caesar. And give God what belongs to God. Why do we go and pick men of God already appointed by God, bring them to what Caesar is doing? That is where corruption is entrenched, Madam Speaker. And Madam Speaker, this country belongs to all of us. Scholarship in Wasiligisho, Madam Speaker, where the president is...
Hold on, Honorable Wanjala. Honorable Wanjala, take your seat.
Madam Speaker,
take your seat.
Madam Speaker, is the honorable member in order to blame the men of God, the men and women of God, while they cannot be here and defend themselves of participating in corruption? Is he in order?
Honorable Ako, I think Honorable Wanjala has made a general comment on leadership of the church. We also have bishops in this house who can defend themselves. So I will ask you to finish up, Honorable Wanjala.
I was saying, Madam Speaker, that even the backyard of the president today is where there is the biggest scam on scholarship. How long does it take the whole president with...
Your time is up. Honorable Saney.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and I appreciate the generosity of my senior Honorable Shakir Shabir. I would wish to make reference to my colleague, Honorable Wanjala, in trying to indicate that the government is not serious on corruption, whereas we have just come from a government that is so ugly, shameless, trying to fleece what was meant for COVID. The worst form of corruption since independence happened in the last parliament, during the last government. I believe this government took up the work of fighting corruption so seriously, and they have indicated severally that this is not a government to tolerate corruption. Be that as it may, Madam Speaker, greed cannot be taught in school. No curriculum can deal with matters of greed and corruption. This requires the upbringing of our children be straightened, the culture on how we bring kids. What kind of values do we imbibe on our youngsters? Madam Speaker, it's about tightening our laws. It's about how serious or effective is wealth declaration. lifestyle audits we have been doing, and they have become so conventional, so formal, yet not effective. Is Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission seriously up to the task? I believe they themselves are rotten to the core, that they can't hold anybody responsible for corruption cases. Performance and accountability on the duty bearers, those who are the accounting holders of any department or ministry, must be serious on matters of accountability. Madam Speaker, lastly, whistleblowing, public shaming